Once you start uploading on YouTube, you get this weird anxiety about uploading. It doesn't matter if you're 20,000 gajillion subscribers and you full-time creator, whatever the case, or you're just starting. When you're trying to stay consistent and you have all of these people around you saying you need to be consistent with your uploads, the best thing to remember is what works for you is what you should do. Cake Ninja says, how do you plan your week around content creation after a whole day of working? I have so many ideas, but at the end of the day, I get so exhausted. So here's what I do, Cake. Backstory. I'll tell you what worked for me, and I can only do that because I know it works for me, okay? I was a teacher for over 10 years, okay? I taught orchestra and chorus, but I was also the music director for our musical that happened all the time. So I would have late days almost regularly, like 7 in the mornings to 6 in the afternoon, if not later, right? And then I had a kid, I'm married. You know, make sure you have time spent with the kid. You prioritize that. My big thing that I ran into was, and these were rules that I set for myself. This has nothing to do with you, right? These are definitely things that I set for myself, which was when my son is awake, I'm not doing content because I think it's important that I don't suck very important time away from him. He's 5 now. When I started, he was literally 0. So it was really important. Okay. And then I knew that when Hudson went to bed, my wife was extremely supportive of what I did. Now, that's my situation. I'm married. She was really extremely supportive, but I made sure that I only took maybe 2 or 3 nights a week where when they went to bed, I was on the computer. And I had a job where, as a teacher, I could stay up a little bit later and kind of sacrifice my sleep. And I did that, honestly, for a long time. I slept like 4 hours consistently for about 3 years straight. And I'm not joking, and that's not an exaggeration. That's extremely true. Any of my students, I was a pretty high energy person, but at the end of the day, I just completely crashed. When it comes to making sure you can do content, was I learned early on at that time that I needed to do a few things. One, I had to have time for myself, had to have time for my content, and I needed to have time for my family, and obviously my career. So batching content was extremely important. So what I did was I would make sure I took my ideas, I mapped them out, and then on like a Saturday evening or morning or something, when I know I had time, I would either wake up early or I would go to bed late at night. Rarely did I wake up early because I suck at being a morning person. But sometimes at late at night, after everyone's in bed asleep, and I knew that there wasn't going to be any kind of bleed into the mic or anything, I would record maybe 2 or 3 videos, right? And then throughout the week, you know, I could be on a laptop editing and not in front of a game recording or playing a game or whatever the case. And if somebody was, you know, my wife was like, hey, I need you to do this, or you had something, you could totally put your computer down and go do it, and being able to step away. So I think that was really important, was for me to put up barriers really early on to make sure that was possible. There were times where I was a lot more creative and able to jump into it than others, but I was also prioritizing streaming at the same time. So I was also making sure that when I was streaming, I wasn't just streaming for fun, I was streaming for content. So I would make sure that during my video, during my stream, I was going to make 1 or 2 videos during that stream, whether it be something gaming related, or I was going to come to this, right? Where we could have this conversation and I could talk to you like this. I could go back in my VOD, cut it out, and that was a video. That was an easy way for me to make content. Data brokers will sell your information to spammers, scammers, or anyone who may want to target you. Your full name, email, health records, your address, everything is out there. That's why I've been using Aura, today's sponsor. Aura shows me exactly who's using my information and automatically submits opt-out requests so that this information can get out of their hands. Cleaning up this information not only prevents spam, but also protects me from hackers being able to use this information to gain access to social media accounts, bank accounts, and so much more. It's really easy to set up, and I don't have to download several different apps to be able to do things like VPN, antivirus, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and so much more. I get everything at one affordable price. I value my privacy and I value yours. So go to aura.com/darkencyrus to start your 14-day free trial now. Once again, thank you to Aura for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to it. But as far as like being exhausted, I think the important thing is there's a lot of mental push on a creator. Once you start uploading on YouTube, you get this weird anxiety about uploading. It doesn't matter if you're 20,000 gajillion subscribers and you full-time creator, whatever the case, or you're just starting. When you're trying to stay consistent and you have all of these people around you saying you need to be consistent with your uploads, you need to be consistent with your uploads, you need to be consistent with your uploads, upload 4 times a week, 12 times a week, 1 time a week. There's so much stuff. the best thing to remember is what works for you is what you should do. Somebody's always going to say, be consistent. And the truth is, people are saying be consistent because consistency breeds growth, not that YouTube likes consistency. YouTube could care less about you being consistent after a while. But in the beginning, it's cool to have plenty of content so YouTube knows who you are, so you have an audience. But I think that that's really important, that you really drive that factor, that you need to do what works best for you. If you're exhausted and you don't want to make content, you're probably not going to make great content. So don't make that content. Wait for a time and plan it out, schedule it out, make sure you're really specific about it. If you've got plans or friends or something like, hey guys, I've got something, I've got this block of time that every week I'm just going to dedicate to something. And if you want to tell them, great. If you don't, but just be very specific. Hey guys, I'm just at this time I'm going to be unavailable. And you be very, specific while you're thinking about all that content throughout the week. You take that time and you batch it. And then throughout the next couple weeks, let's say you have some rough days or you might get some more opportunity to record, you're able to batch out the content. You batch 3 videos, right? Don't publish all 3 videos that week. Schedule them out. You might have 3 weeks of videos, one a week. And that gives you time to breathe, understand, be a part of life, still be able to upload and see how things go. I'm a full-time creator now, but there is nothing more important in life than your family and the people who are around you and the people who love you and support you, especially your partner and your spouse and your kids. Okay. So if there's a time where you got to think what's more important, if it's your job, it's your job, but you need to treat it like a job. There's a moment where you have to turn it off. And if you really, as a creator, treat it as a part-time job, you should really be able to say, I should never spend more than this much time a week on this. Because at that point, now it starts making you maybe more efficient and being able to accomplish the goals you want to be able to do. And make sure that you're prioritizing the people who are important in your life. LUC says, I respect the grind. You sound like a great father. I appreciate that. I really, really try my best. I'm going to be honest, right now I'm a full-time creator, but my son only goes to school 2 hours a week right now. So he goes to school from like 8 to 10 in the morning. So I take him to school and drop him off, and I pick him up at 10 o'clock. And as a full-time creator, I'm now full-time dad, not like full-time dad, but I have Hudson here. So I can't like sit in front of a stream like I used to or edit content during the day. We've decided to pull him from daycare, not because of like, it was a money thing, but it was expensive, but it wasn't because we didn't have it. It was just expensive. It was like $800 a month to keep him in daycare. And so we pulled him out of daycare. So now he hangs out with me. He's pretty awesome. My son has autism, so he's really easily fixated on different things. And sometimes he's really fixated. Right now he's fixated on construction trucks. And so we're outside in the dirt most of the day. So I can't even be in front of my computer. I have a laptop. I have an M1 Mac, but I can't do a whole heck of a lot on that to the level that I need it to be. So I spend more time being a dad, and now I do a lot of my stuff at night or as I kind of do it throughout the day.